Hi everyone, Ryan here. At OIA, we combine standardized recorded lessons, official curriculum documents, and AI-powered HiTeach live classes to support students across 4 essential dimensions of learning. That is independent learning, collaborative learning or learning within groups, peer reviewing other classmates through discussion or assessment, and guided instruction from teachers. This structure helps students build strong academic foundations while improving their critical thinking, communication, and self-management skills. Today, let's walk through a typical learning process using MCR3U Lesson 5.1 as an example. Step 1, pre-learning with quizzes and worksheets. To help students build strong independent learning habits, we encourage them to review the chapter in the recommended textbook before class. Our carefully designed pre- and post-class quizzes and learning worksheets guide students through key concepts in advance, allowing them to enter the classroom with a solid foundation and greater confidence. Step 2, self-paced study on D2L. On our D2L platform, students can access course materials and work through lesson content at their own pace, allowing for personalized and flexible learning. Step 3, live interactive classes. We also offer live online classes powered by AI-HiTeach, which enhances students' engagement and provides real-time feedback. This ensures students fully understand the material and can apply it confidently. Let's take a look at how it works in a real live class. Okay everyone, welcome back to MCR3U. This is lesson 5.1, Modeling Periodic Behavior. Your learning goals for this lesson is to identify periodic functions, to understand key properties of periodic functions, to learn how to predict future behaviors of periodic functions. And your success criteria: you will succeed when you can identify the cycle, period, and amplitude of periodic functions, when you can identify a periodic function and explain why it is periodic, when you can make predictions about extensions of periodic functions on a graph. Okay, now on to the lesson. We're going to start with a little preparation for the topic. We want to introduce what a periodic function is, and that's why we're going to play the big card game. So Adam has decided to have a big card game night and invited 11 of his friends to play. He just got a brand new card table that fits 12 players. It is huge, gigantic. A 5-meter radius, as we all know, would be gigantic table. So each seat is equally spaced apart with an angle of separation of 30 degrees. That should trigger a lot of you students that now we're doing some special angles. And then Adam will be worried about dealing out the cards because now that distance to each person is going to be really far. I've created a simulation for us to see with Adam's game here, Adam's table. So we can see dealing from Adam to Bob, we have our triangle created with 30 degrees, and we have the distance from Adam to Bob. That means Adam needs to throw 2.6 meters. As we move on to Cindy, we see it's 5 meters. As we move on to Derek, it's 7 meters. And then Evangela, 8.6, and so on. So can anyone tell me, this is a little review from Unit 4, how did we get that distance? Let's do a random selection of one of the students. Okay, Bessie, can you please tell me what is the trigonometric tool that we would use to find that distance of that triangle?
Sure, I'm a little confused still. You can tell that from my math test. Thanks for meeting with me the other day. I did not really do well on that, but I can tell you a little bit about how I see it.
Okay.
So we've got 12 players. It has a 5-meter radius. So I'm thinking, are we dividing by 12 because there's 12 players?
Well, there's a little bit more to it than that. I mean, let's go back to what a triangle is and how we develop a triangle. So If you remember, we had a few laws that we learned about trigonometric functions, two of them being sine law and cosine law. So this one here would be the cosine law. For now, let's just focus on. So now the rest of our activity is to fill out the table of values of Adam dealing to each player. So as we go around the table, Adam is going to continue dealing to Bob, Cindy, then Derek, and we're going to fill out each of these values. But for our card game, Adam needs to deal out 2 cards to every person. So we're going to have to go back around again and deal. So let's try recording all of our table of values for every one of these distances, and then we're going to try to create a graph. So as we see for question A, Adam has to throw to each player. We're going to create our table. You can draw it like so. So this will be player, and this will be distance. This will be Adam, and then Bob, and so on. Adam is 0, Bob is 2.6, and so on. So I'm going to send this to everyone to do a little drawing. Let's see here. Actually, I'm going to start giving out some bonus. There we go. Stella gets 1. Ella gets 1. Lixie's getting a bonus. James, nice table. Bessie, that's pretty good. That's not bad. I'm getting there. Start the task. I saw a few good predictions. I saw some parabolas there, and that's a good answer because we're going up and then coming back down as we do the table. So now we can see our results here. Okay, so as we take each step, as Adam deals to Bob, we're taking another step, and our triangle looks like this. And then to Cindy, and then to Derek, D, E, then F, then G, and so on. So here's our table again. But now, as you can see, we're counting up, and that's because we're going to look at what it would look like on a graph. So here's our value over distance. The next step, we can see the x here. It's about 2.6. And then the next x, 5, and so on. So as we're going around the table, here's the distance recorded for each of the players. So now we've ended. We've come back to Adam, and Adam has dealt himself a card. And we're about to deal another card. So is this starting to look like everyone's graphs? I saw a few graphs that look similar. But now let's imagine the second hand. Here we go with another hand. Can anyone tell me what they're noticing about this? Let's call on someone. How would you describe one cycle of this relationship, this function?
In one word?
Yeah, or what you think one period would be. Just describe one period. Somebody buzz in if they think they can. If not, I will pick one of you up. Okay, Stella, what do you think? How would you describe one period?
0 to 12 would be one period.
Great. That's the period length, actually. So that's even a little bit more. That's a few steps ahead in the lesson. Very good, Stella. So that's one period length. One period length being 12, you said. One of players on this in this game. So we've dealt out 12 cards now. That's one cycle. How many cycles would be in this relationship? Let's go back to our function and let's just let it run. How many cycles do you think is happening here? The hint being the circle as well. What do you think? Let's do a buzz-in. Actually, I'll give another buzz-in. Let's try again. Who would like to buzz in for this? Whoa, we got lots in this one. Okay, James. I forgot to give him 10. That's close to the amount of players. But what do you think, if you see this image, how many cycles do you think would be? And we described this blue one to be, or this green one to be 1. So how many cycles?
Oh, so that's 2 cycles.
2 cycles. Great, James. I'll give you a bonus there. Boom. Now that we've gone through the lesson, let's go back to that quiz that we did at the beginning of the lesson to warm up. You had to do this before the lesson, actually. Sorry, this was before you came into class. So maybe you got a few things wrong. Now we're going to try and see if we can get some correct answers on here. So what periodic function identification? So what would be the amplitude for these values? I'm going to send out a multiple choice. So for the answers 1 to 4, you're looking 1 is A, 2 is B, 3 is C, and D is 4. Which one of those variables would you think is the amplitude? Okay, see, we've got a few answers in. That's good enough for now. We can leave this open so you continue answering. So in this case, the amplitude would be B. Okay, and next would be maximum. All right, very good. Yes, minimum is D. I know that that was the last one and it was process of elimination, but still got that figured out. So now we know how to, we know a few more terms of periodic functions in order to identify them and properly classify them. Now, let's try again with the multiple answers. So in this case, we're going to have, we need to select all that are periodic functions. Remember, as we discussed, periodic functions are one period repeating over and over again, infinitely to one side and infinitely to the other. Okay, good. A few answers are in. Now let's do a quick mind map activity and consolidate our knowledge and see what kind of terms, what kind of ideas we have about what periodic functions are to us. You're going to be working in groups. You're just going to keep contributing, adding to the mind map of anything, any kind of descriptions that you want to make of what a periodic function is, or what you might think a periodic function might be. To Joy. Oh, I see a lot of min and max. Ooh, constant, Lixie, very good. That's good. So for this relationship, that's good. I see the same shape, good. It's open, so you can continue to add to it, and you can save it for your own records. We'll see you again in the next class.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Welcome.